Welcome to my Patreon page. Thank you for being a patron, or should I say thank all of you patrons. This is my new daily upload. I wonder if this goes to YouTube first. Anyway, this is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes of me writing my next novel. Now, my room is extremely messy, so you're not going to get a super nice desk and office with a guy in a, button-down shirt writing his next novel. You're getting me with all of my low-key cramped space. You don't get a desk with me, you get a bed. And right now the bed has no sheets on it, but that's okay. Because what you're here for is for the content. What you've pledged for is the content. Now I'm going to place the phone next to me on my dresser. That shouldn't fall. Expensive tripod. Let's put that like that because you are here. You can get used to seeing this painting. Right now you cannot see my laptop, so let's adjust that. There it is. Okay. So, what you have paid to see as my patron monthly, and it's going to end up becoming like a tutorial for you that projects. I'm going to start writing my next book. Now I've got 8 published books. Starts from The Tree, which is what if Indiana Jones found a new Garden of Eden. The Tree, and then there was The Inner Circle Part 1, which is a vampire book. And then Angel in Corpus Christi. And then it was Part 2 of the vampire book. And those are the 4 fiction novels I've published. And then I've got 3 comedy books. Yes. No Thank You Notes 1, No Thank You Notes 2, and Smart Ass Phones as opposed to Smartphones. And then the last book is Fell into Fortune, which is a motivational book about people, one story including myself, who have had a felony background, gone through prison, and come out on top. And we have not let our tainted background stop us from moving forward. And that's actually being released across the United States this July in state facilities. And so that's going to do, I think, pretty well. So tonight's 10 minutes is going to be about The Inner Circle. About 5 years ago was the last time I wrote. And when I write, I like to create the covers to my books to inspire me to write them. So here is, let's get that non-reflective. That's the cover. The Inner Circle, Stage 3. Let me see if I can, there you go. Children of the Night. As you see, it says a new novel by Rico Lanzo, because Rico Lanzo is the pen name I write under. And I was starting to change them all over to Teddy Moreno. Come on, focus on me. There we go. I was starting to write them all under Teddy Moreno, but who knows? I might stay with Rico Lanzo, since that's my pen name as an author. But yeah, I usually, when I write a book, I think what I'm going to write and release next. And so once I finish the book, and it used to take me about 6 months to write a book, I'd write an hour every single night, and these uploads are only going to be 10 to 15 minutes, so you're not going to see the entire hour. But I put about 6 months into a book, publish it, but before I do, I think, what's going to be my next book? Because as I was self-publishing my books, I realized that, well, wait a second, if I read a book, let's just, you read a Dean Koontz book, and in the back of the Dean Koontz book, you see what his next book is going to be, so you know he's constantly writing. And I thought, I want people who read my books, even though they're self-published, I want them to know to expect more from me. So if they like what they read, they're like, ooh, he's got something else coming out. So I always put the next cover, or I design the cover to the next book in the back of whatever book I'm writing. And I also write the first chapter, because I've skeleton sketched, so to speak, the content and the story of the book, and I'm gonna have to go through and read those notes for this book, one step at a time. And sometimes one sentence can become a whole page. Sometimes one sentence becomes a paragraph. Sometimes a sentence is a sentence. And so what you're also going to be getting in having pledged to have access to these nightly videos is a real tutorial of how to write. And so maybe you want to be an author yourself, and so you've pledged the money per month for me to be able to watch these videos. And maybe you didn't even, I didn't even describe this. I may go back and change the description for this level of pledging to show that you're going to really learn how to write a book. Because I also have a how to self-publish webinar on Amazon under Teddy Moreno that you can watch if you're a Prime member. I think you can watch it for free no matter what, but that is obviously a loose guide to how to get self-published and does not obviously delve deep into writing. And so this nightly upload, you're going to be able to experience the thoughts I go through and how I turn a sentence into a paragraph. And sometimes when you write dialogue or when you're sketching the idea, because I wrote this book while I was in prison in California, and so I just used all my time to write. And so as I write, sometimes dialogue comes to you, and so you write that dialogue. And I always tell people, write that dialogue down, because whether it takes you 6 months or a year to start rewriting the book or sitting down to put it on a computer, you'll forget certain things. And so to have a line of dialogue that came to you in the moment is nice to be able to refer back and go, yeah, because then that will lead to more ideas and more ideas. And you don't have to know all the dialogue. You can write a general idea of, okay, there's two people in the street and they're walking toward this cave. And you can leave it like that, so when you go back to it to flush it out, then you can think, oh, okay, and how did the day look, and what were they dressed in? You can get into whatever details you want to get into. And so yeah, so that's what I did with this. And so okay, so this is the folder I have for the book, and as you can see, there's lots of images in there. It's not focusing. Let's see. As you can see, this is very low, independent level. But you see the images I used when I was trying to think how I wanted to create the book cover. But nothing in this folder is a Word document. So I'm going to have to, yes, it's focused again. The last book I released was Paladin, which is the second vampire book. So let me go to Paladin. Come on. And then I'll give you a preview of what that cover looks like. It's on my Patreon page, but so that's Paladin. And then he is a half human, half gargoyle character I introduced in the second vampire book series. Now this one I actually don't use Word, because when you self-publish, if you ever put images inside the book, to self-publish, you have to create a PDF that has images at 300 DPI minimum. And Word won't export PDFs at that DPI. So I use OpenOffice, if you're familiar with that. So what I'm going to do is I've opened up the page. Let's see. Do this the fast way. I'll go all the way to the bottom. Okay. This is what I was looking for. Oops. Let's go up. That's love story. Here we go. So, after my second vampire book, I say, find out what happens next. Don't miss Stage 3, the Inner Circle Literary Series. And I originally had it due out in the spring of 2014. So we're now 4 years later. Okay. Now, what I thought I did... Ooh, okay. So I actually did not write an opening paragraph, or an opening... because as you see here, even though I have the image of the book, it goes on, I have an author's note, and then I talk about my next book coming out allegedly in fall of 2013. It's a dance, because I used to work in with choreographers and casting directors in the dance world out here in Hollywood, and so I wrote this idea called Grace in Motion. It's an awesome love story wrapped within the dance world. And as I see, I have the preview to Grace in Motion. So what I'm going to have to do is I have to find my notes for Children of the Night. And that's fine, because I'm at the 11-minute mark, and you don't have to watch me go through that. But so this has been a good first taste of what you're going to be seeing nightly from these uploads as you pledge on that tier level for access to this. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for accepting my very indie setup here with my super fancy tripod. But I love to write. And so this is actually exciting for me too, because as you can see, I haven't written in 4 years. And so I'm looking forward to getting back into it. It's a great expression of myself. And if you are a want-to-be writer, want-to-be creator, content creator, by watching these videos, I do hope it motivates you to chase your dreams, to sit down with a laptop and start writing your first book or your next book. So anyway, thanks for watching, thank you for pledging, and we will see you tomorrow night.